Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. Second elder shot for him, with the seventh elder right behind him. The huge amount of power came at him in waves. Zhuo Fan squinted and put on a calculating smile. Venerable Qi and Bai interfered and pushed the two back, warning, "You're forgetting your place, elders. Think about the consequence of breaking the sect's rule for attacking a disciple. Your granddaughter didn't die, so of course you don't care." Second elder glowered, "Do you think you can defend the punk forever?" Clap. Zhuo Fan gave a slow clap as he stepped forward from behind the venerables with his trademark evil smile. "Well put. I feel for the elders' love for their grandchildren. Why don't I give you two a shot? As per sect's rule, a lower status person can attack a higher status person without fearing the consequences. I killed your grandchildren within the purview of the sect's regulations. Now it's your turn to be challenged, so if you manage to tear me limb from limb afterwards, no one will get to say a thing." The two were stumped and the audience was in shock. A disciple challenging an elder? That has never happened before. No one in their right mind was that suicidal. Venerable Bai and Qi were floored by Zhuo Fan's decision. Deal. The two elders agreed before anyone else could interfere. Zhuo Fan snickered, then, both at once. "Have you lost it?" Everyone watched Zhuo Fan in shock. The damn punk doesn't give a rat's ass about anything. Doing and saying whatever he wants. Those right there are ethereal stage experts while you're just a fresh radiant stage laborer. Is death that enticing? Zhuo Fan, Venerable Bai started, but Zhuo Fan chuckled. These poor elders just lost their kin. The least I can do is get their hopes up. Venerable Bai sighed, "You're not giving them hope, but your life. It's fine. Besides, everyone here can attest to my integrity and kindness. It all comes down to having what it takes to take it." Zhuo Fan grinned, "I just love getting these pesky coots, who always keep butting in my affairs, hopes up. Then crushing them." No matter how much Venerable Bai and Qi were against it, there was no point crying over spilled milk. Since he was so cocky in his skills, why not just let them sort it out themselves? The fiends were still annoyed that Zhuo Fan went over them and challenged the elite area. It was a wonderful contradiction with their fondness for talent, as they hoped he'd grow up to his potential. However, the sect's rule left them hopeless once the challenge was made. None could interfere in this battle. All watched on with eager looks. In one corner were two very influential elders, in the second and third layer of ethereal stage that could pop a radiant stage cultivator with a snap of their fingers. The challenger was the ineffable founder of the Elite Labor Office, Steward Zhuo. He had them wondering what act he was playing this time. From the moment he threw the heads at the elders, some astute oldies noticed he was taunting the two to this exact moment. But what good would getting them berserk do? Which made this fight all the more interesting. Against a pipsqueak, 2 is overkill. Second elder spat. Seventh elder, "May I take revenge for your granddaughter? Having you join in will give him too much credit." Seventh elder was totally against this idea, but he still nodded, "Fine, just make it quick." Obviously. Second elder saw Qifeng's head once more and roared, "Phone. I will have your revenge." Second elder flicked his hand and unleashed a terrible soul wind. The audience tensed. That's an ethereal stage expert's soul attack which no yuan qi or body could withstand. Kuei Lang's group knew what Zhuo Fan could do, but even that fell short against a soul attack of this magnitude. Then again, Zhuo Fan didn't care. He just gave a dismissive wave like swatting a fly and the attack was no more. Second elder was dumbfounded, "How the hell?" The audience even more so. Since when could a fresh radiant stage cultivator just shirk off a high and mighty ethereal stage expert's soul attack? Unless he has a soul form too. That's the only explanation he's still alive. But that's even more impossible. He just reached the radiant stage. Everyone peered at Zhuo Fan to find his secret. The two elders noticed Zhuo Fan's creepy smile and their hearts jumped. Seventh elder, "This kid's strange. While I attack again, you take his head. Second elder sent. Seventh elder nodded as second elder shot for Zhuo Fan with an even bigger soul pressure. Common sense dictated a radiant stage cultivator would have died by now from having their soul crushed. Yet Zhuo Fan took it like a champ. He just stood there, as if second elder's soul pressure was but a cooling spring breeze. Second elder turned serious as he waved his hands and a fire sea ignited around Zhuo Fan. Inferno! Venerable Bai cried, second elder's soul is the fire element and that is soul fire, nothing physical can affect it. The only way to withstand it is with a strong soul. What do we do? Isn't Steward Zhuo just a radiant stage cultivator? How can he withstand a soul fire? Yu Ling panicked. Kuei Lang's side was tense. Just as a cool voice came from within the raging fire, Divine Eye of the Void's fourth stage, Space Crusher. Hum. The shockwave ensued, clearing up 100-meter sphere around him with a bang, everything crushed to nothing. The soul fire stood no chance in this absolute domain. Second elder faltered 2 steps, shocked and blood coming out of his mouth. The appearance of Space Crusher annihilated his soul fire and in turn, gave his soul a deep scar. Yet he could hardly believe a punk was capable of such a feat. How did he? The rest were too out of it to react. A fresh radiant stage cultivator just wounded an ethereal stage expert. That's unheard of. They gulped as they watched the smug Zhuo Fan within the fire. He's a monster with total confidence in dealing with the elders. That means the challenge was made on purpose to target them. He's after. Everyone shivered. The labor office's steward didn't do it to get back at 2 disciples, but to get the elders' heads. SSS. With a gasp, the audience realized the sheer scope of his ploy. Everything had been done to bait them, including this so-called apology banquet, to kill the elders in plain sight. They saw Zhuo Fan's right eye glowing with 4 golden halos and shook. Since they were elders, not any challenge would be accepted on the spot. These 2 were victims of circumstances, forced into a corner without realizing that gave Zhuo Fan the moral high ground in dispatching them for all to see. All held Zhuo Fan in fear and respect. Not just disciples, but elders and venerables as well. The kid's mind was more twisted than the oldies. Grinning from ear to ear, Zhuo Fan only cared about one thing, killing. His right eye shined golden once more. Divine Eye of the Void's first stage, shift. He bam-fed right in front of his quarry and unleashed a palm attack. With a draconic roar, the palm felt like a dragon claw of outstanding might clawing at second elder's chest. His attempt at using his soul fire to defend proved feeble as the sheer pressure left him gasping. How am I feeling soul pressure? You formed your soul. Second elder's heart cried out in disbelief. Just a radiant stage laborer and yet had a soul form like an ethereal stage expert. And to make it worse, the soul form was even stronger, putting pressure on his own.